Buckeye State.
Yeah, but they got
of
famous
Ohio.
first. This is what's interesting. They got famous first, and then it turns out they can fight. Especially Jake. That kid can knock people the out. He knows how to punch.
Can he knock fighters out, though?
Well, we don't know. I mean, we saw Askren, right? But Askren, first of all, coming off of a hip replacement surgery, it's a brilliant move, right? You get a guy who's arguably the worst striker in elite MMA, which is Ben Askren.
Right,
and
right.
that's no disrespect to Ben Askren. He'd probably admit to that. Phenomenal
wrestler, right?
Phenomenal wrestler, like elite wrestler. Great guy. Not a good striker. You make him box. It's like the worst thing that he does. And then Jake Paul starches him with one punch. But you looked at his body. He looked severely out of shape. It looked like he hadn't trained for a long time and then kind of got in good enough shape so he could compete. The guy knows how to fight and knows how to win, but that's not his sport. It's not his sport at all. He just took a paycheck.
I'd like to see this guy, Jake Paul, fight someone.
He's going to fight TYRON Woodley.
Well, after he fight, can TYRON Woodley fight? Can he box?
I know he can punch. He punches really hard, but he doesn't punch like a boxer. He throws big bombs and sets up takedowns, and he can crack though. With one shot, he could f anybody up. But the thing is, like, the way he throws shots, he'll throw like a bomb and then set up a takedown or set up a clinch. He's not a guy who's like going out there with peekaboo style, throwing jabs and hooks to the body. That's not his style. He's never been a guy who boxed. He's been a guy who uses boxing in MMA, but he uses everything.
Does Jake Paul beat him, you think?
Oh, we won't know until they get in there. The thing about it is he'll be the most dangerous guy that Jake's fought for sure.
If Jake Paul...
Not even close. Not even close. And no one more dangerous than TYRON Woodley.
All right, well, if he beats an MMA fighter... Because
TYRON's not just an MMA fighter. TYRON is he's a UFC world champion and one of the best welterweights of all time. If you looked at all the UFC welterweights of all time, he's top 3. He's fucking phenomenal.
But there is something fundamentally different about MMA fighters fighting a boxer.
Yeah, because there's other stuff that you incorporate into your movement, right? You're worried about leg kicks. You're worried about takedown defense. You're worried about all these different things. So you have all these different variables on your plate. Now you remove all those variables. You give TYRON a pair of shoes and you just let him punch. He punches really fucking hard. And when he doesn't have to worry about wrestling, he doesn't have to worry about getting as tired, and he can pick his shots, he'll be the most dangerous guy that Jake Paul's ever fought, for sure. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he wins. And I think Jake Paul can box. If you look at that Nate Robinson fight, I know Nate Robinson didn't know what he was doing, but the way he landed those punches, he cracked him and knocked him out moving backwards. He can move backwards.